Namaskara. Look at the texture. Every grain separate, light, fluffy, not one clump anywhere. This is not the upma that sits heavy in your stomach. This is not that gluey, lumpy, waterlogged upma most people have been making their entire lives. This is Rava Upma the way it is supposed to be made. And there are two moments in this recipe where most people make an irreversible mistake. One wrong decision at either moment, and no amount of fixing saves it. Today, Amma reveals both. Stay with me. Namaskara, Rava Upma, one of the most made breakfast dishes across every Indian household. North, South, East, West, and yet one of the most consistently made incorrectly. The clumping, the waterlogging, the heavy texture, the flavor that never quite reaches what you get at good restaurant.
Today, Amma fixes all of it. 40 years of making this recipe in this secret revealed today. Nothing held back. Let us begin. Welcome to Deepak Kitchen. Today we are making delicious Rava Upma. Let's cook.
Here is everything you need. Take a screenshot if you want. Before anything else, Amma wants to talk about ratios. Because this is where every failed upma begins, not at the cooking stage, right here before you even start. Look at this rava, medium rava, upma rava, 2 cups 300 grams. This is what it looks like in the hand. Fine, dry, pale grains, medium cut, not fine, not coarse. This specific rava is non-negotiable. This specific rava is for the texture we are building today. Now the oil. Amma's 40 years rule. For every 3 cups of rava, 1 cup of oil. Peanut oil specifically. For our 2 cups of rava today, 100 ml of peanut oil, measured precisely.
Why peanut oil? Peanut oil has a high smoke point, meaning it can handle the heat required to roast the rava properly without burning. It also adds a very subtle nutty warmth to the upma
that neutral oils cannot give. Look at this, I'm pouring 100 ml of oil into the separate container first so that you can see the exact volume before it goes into the pan. This is what correct amount look like. Remember this visual. Now the water, and this is where most people go wrong in both directions. Too little, hard grainy upma. Too much water, running disaster. Amma's rule: for every 1 cup of rava, 3 cups of boiling hot water. For 2 cups of rava today, 6 cups of boiling water. Counted, measured one by one into the kettle to boil. 6 cups of water boiled and kept ready. Not water from the tap that you plan to add later. Boiled, ready and waiting. Now the cooking begins. Heavy bottomed kadai, all 100 ml of peanut oil into the pan, not half of the oil, not 3/4 of it. Remember the ratio, commit to it. Medium flame, allow the oil to heat fully. Mustard seeds first, half a teaspoon of it. Wait for the full splutter. Now, a quarter teaspoon of jeera or cumin, half a teaspoon of chana dal, half a teaspoon of urad dal, a 3 to 4 red chilies, 2 sprigs of curry leaves. Step back when the curry leaves hit the oil, they will split. 10 to 12 cashew nuts and 1 inch of ginger grated or finely chopped. The cashew nuts and ginger go in together at this exact moment, not later, not earlier. The cashew nuts need the same cooking time as the dal to reach that perfect golden color. And the ginger needs to fry in oil long enough to release its oil completely before the vegetables go in. Medium flame, 30 to 40 seconds max. Watch this carefully. The dal will turn golden, the cashews will start to color, the aroma will shift the raw ginger and oil to something warm, nutty and deep. The shift in the aroma is your signal, not the clock. The aroma tells you. Now, the green chilies. Adjust to your spice tolerance, add them now. And now the vegetables. 1 diced capsicum, 1 diced carrot, 1 finely chopped onion.
The onion is completely optional. If you want a sattvic version, skip the onion entirely. The recipe works perfectly without it. No adjustment needed. Simply leave it out.
Medium flame 3 to 4 minutes until the vegetables are 70% cooked. 70% not fully cooked. The vegetables finished during the rava roasting stage. Overcooked vegetables now means mushy vegetables later. 70%. Remember that number. The vegetables are 70% done. Now, the most important step in this entire recipe, the step that separates every great upma from every bad one. Amma first secret, reduce the flame to low immediately. Add both cup of medium rava directly into the pan, into the oil and vegetables. Low flame from this point, do not touch that flame. Add salt now to taste before the roasting begins. Now mix continuously. Every grain of rava must come into the contact with the oil and the vegetable juices. And now you wait 5 minutes on low flame. Continuous stirring, no shortcuts. Here is what happening in these 5 minutes, and this is the science that every restaurant and hotel knows and every home cook skips. The rava is roasting in the oil. The moisture inside each grain is being driven out by the low heat. The oil is penetrating the dry rava grain, coating each one individually. The flavor from the tempering, the ginger, the cashews, the chili, the curry leaves is being absorbed directly into the surface of each grain. When you add water to unroasted rava, the water hits dry, uncoated grain and create clump immediately. The outside of each grain absorbs water faster than the inside. The grain seals itself and you get a hard, gluey lump. When you add water to properly roasted rava, the oil coated grain absorbs the water slowly and evenly. From outside in, every grain stays separate. Every grain cooks uniformly. 5 minutes is non-negotiable. Do not skip it because the flame is low. Watch for this. The rava will visibly change color from pale off-white to a very slight golden tinge.
The oil will appear to be completely absorbed by the rava. You will not see it pooling anymore. That visual is your signal. Ready for the water.
Now, Amma's second secret. The one guarantees a perfect upma even if everything else was slightly off.
6 cups of boiling hot water. Not warm, not tap temperature, not cold. Boiling. The water you put in the kettle at the very beginning of this recipe.
Add it now all at once directly into the roasted rava, high flame immediately. And here is exactly why this matters more than most people will ever understand. When boiling water meets oil coated hot rava, the water is immediately absorbed at the same rate across every grain because both the water and rava are at high temperature. The absorption is instantaneous and even. When cold water meets hot rava, the temperature difference causes the outside of each grain to contact and harden instantly, scaling the surface before the water can penetrate. Clump form immediately, irreversible. This is why your upma had clump, not the rava, not the ratio, not even the technique. Cold water at this exact moment, that is the only reason. Boiling water always, no exceptions. This is 40 years of Amma's experience speaking. 6 cups of boiling water into the kadai, high flame immediately. Give it one thorough confidence mix. Every grain must come into the contact with the water in the first mix. After that, keep stirring. Watch the rava now. Every second it is thickening. Every second it is absorbing. You can see the water disappearing into the rava as you stir. This is working. This is exactly right. Now reduce to low flame. Close the lid. 4 to 5 minutes, low to medium heat. Do not open, do not stir, let it steam. After 4 to 5 minutes, open the lid. Look at this. The rava has absorbed every drop, that every 6 cups of water. The consistency is perfect. Not runny, not stiff. Holding its shape but light and fluffy when you press it gently. And add half of the lime juice if you want. This is completely optional. Now add 2 to 3 teaspoons of pure desi ghee added right now off the flame, and a generous handful of fresh coriander. Final mix. Ghee added to heat turns harsh. Ghee added off the flame stays fragrant, nutty, and coats every grain with a final layer of richness that makes this upma something completely different from what you made before. This is it, Rava Upma, my Amma's way. 40 years, every single secret revealed today. Look at here, I'm plating it on a banana leaf. Look at that. Every grain separate, the ghee coating glistening, the vegetables perfectly cooked, still holding their shape and their color. The cashews golden. This is what 40 years of technique look like on a banana leaf. Serve it with a coconut chutney, serve it with sambar, or eat it exactly like this with nothing else because it needs nothing to accompany it. 5 rules to always remember. 1. The ratio is fixed and sacred. 3 cups of rava to 1 cups of peanut oil, 1 cup of rava to 3 cups of boiling water. Deviate from this and the recipe pays for it later. 2. The tempering order matters. Mustards first, dal and cashew together, ginger with cashews. Same moment, vegetables to 70% only. 3. Add the rava on low flame, roast for 5 full minutes. Oil absorbed and color change. Both signal together before you stop. 4. Boiling water only, not warm, not cold. Boiling water. Add all at once, high flame immediately. This is the only reason why upma had clumps. 5. Ghee off the flame, lemon juice and coriander off the flame. Both go in after the heat is off. Both stay fragrant because of it. One more thing before we finish. Rava Upma is a complete breakfast. But there is one chutney made a very specific Karnataka way that belongs right beside this Upma every single time. Most people have been making this chutney wrong their entire life.
If you want Amma to reveal her Karnataka style tomato chutney, comment below right now, tomato chutney. If enough of you ask, that becomes next episode. The comment section decides.
That is Amma's complete Rava Upma. 40 years of technique revealed today on a banana leaf. Make this tomorrow morning and let me know how it went in the comment section down below. Comment tomato chutney if you want that recipe next.
Subscribe to Deepak's Kitchen. Hit the bell icon. New recipe every Tuesday and Friday. Until we meet again in the next video, this is Deepak Kshatriya signing off. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.